Good evening, everybody. Thank you for being here. We will call this meeting to order again after our closed meeting. Would someone read that certification statement, please?
Whereas the Madison County School Board has convened a closed meeting on this date pursuant to an affirmative recorded vote and in accordance with the provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act. And whereas Section 2.2-3712 of the Code of Virginia requires a certification by this school board that such closed meeting was conducted in conformity with Virginia law, therefore be it resolved that the Madison County School Board hereby certifies that to the best of each member's knowledge, 1, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements by Virginia law were discussed in the closed meeting to which this certification applies, and 2, only such public business matters as were identified in the motion convening the closed meeting were heard, discussed, or considered.
All right, we have a certification. We need a second, please.
I'll second.
Okay, have a motion and a second. Ms. Patterson, will you call roll, please?
Fowling,
I certify.
Mr. Marks,
I certify.
Mr. Sheets,
I certify.
Mr. Wingate,
I certify.
Mrs. Collier.
I certify. Thank you. We have, we can all stand for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, and now we will have our moment of silence. Thank you. Okey-doke. We have a few business items we have to take care of before we get to the fun stuff. The first business item we need to take care of is the approval of the personnel matters. Oh, nope, sorry, the consent agenda. What is going on with my computer?
Personnel matters first.
So it had. There we go. Okay. We need to approve the personnel matters and addendum for November the 13th, 2023. I will open the floor for that motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the personnel matters on the addendum for November 13th, 2023 to include appointments, substitute appointments, resignations, tutors, coaching stipends, and sponsor stipends as presented.
Okay, we have a motion. We need a second.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Do we need to add anything about that offering we spoke about? Do we need to, or is that?
You guys will just offer. Okay. Thank you, though, for bringing that up.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No. All right. Motion carries. The next item is the consent agenda. And that is to approve the November 13th, 2023 consent agenda as presented. Can someone make that motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the November 13th, 2023 consent agenda as presented.
We have a motion. We need a second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the consent agenda? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? No. All right. And now we will recognize the employee of the month. Ms. Graham?
Yes. This month, our Employee of the Month comes from Wetzel Middle School. So Principal Wilson is here to introduce her.
Join me, that would be great. Can you all hear, this is working, right? Hi, Nancy. As we celebrate this month of thanks, it is my pleasure to honor Nancy Gennaro as the November Employee of the Month. Nancy is an exceptional individual who embodies the qualities of dedication, passion, dependability, and care in her work. She consistently goes above and beyond to ensure that the classroom team operates at its best, and her positive attitude and unwavering commitment to her job are truly inspiring. Nancy always prioritizes the needs of the students and her colleagues and demonstrates her selflessness and caring nature on a daily basis. Nancy's passion for helping special education students succeed is truly remarkable, and her dedication to their education and individual needs is nothing short of inspiring. She works diligently to provide the individualized support that each student needs to thrive academically, socially, and emotionally. Watching Nancy with the students is exceptional. She has a very special way of connecting with them and making them feel valued. Her dedication to their success is evident in everything she does, and it's no surprise that she has earned the respect and admiration of her colleagues and the families of the students she serves. Nancy truly embodies the qualities of a caring and dedicated paraprofessional. She loves the children like her own. We are incredibly fortunate to have Nancy as a part of our team, and her unwavering commitment to our special education students is a testament to her exceptional character and professionalism. Congratulations, Nancy, on this well-deserved recognition. We're extremely proud of you and thankful. I'm going to let you keep that. There you go. Thank you. You're welcome. Oh, quick picture, Nancy, if you don't mind. Is this okay? This way? Okay. And one more. Thank you so much. Congratulations. Thank you.
Next, Ms. Wenham is going to present the Senior of the Month. The Senior of the Month program showcases one senior a month for their extracurricular activities, their academics, and their service. They're recognized at a board meeting, and then we have a special banquet in either April or May where the seniors come back. There'll be a little token of appreciation they'll get that night, and they'll get a plaque, and then they'll also have an opportunity to honor an educator that's had an impact in their life, and they'll present that educator with a plaque at that dinner. So it's a really exciting ceremony. Go ahead, Ms. Wenham.
Good evening. I'm going to ask Devin Barden to join me up here. And this year, as we said before, so each year we have a theme at the high school, which is one of our core values. This year, our Seniors of the Month, we have a committee that works on selecting these young adults, and it's focused on Innovate, which is our theme for the year, just taking things as they are and making them better. So I think Devin really represents that, as you will hear. So it's my honor to introduce to you tonight Devin Barden and share his contributions to Madison County High School and the Madison County community. Devin joined the Madison County Fire Department as a junior member this year and is currently enrolled in a Firefighter 1 class and has passed his hazmat certification. Over the past several weeks, Devin has been tirelessly working with the Madison County Fire Department, sacrificing his time and energy to keep the fire lines intact and offer relief to those who needed it during the forest fires. His selfless service to the community is truly commendable, and it's a testament to his passion for helping others in times of need. Devin is not just a firefighter, but a talented photographer as well. His keen eye for capturing the essence of life as a Madison County High School student is reflected in his work as the photography director for the school's yearbook. He also documented the damage caused by the arson attack on Rose Park United Methodist Church last January, showcasing his dedication to capturing significant events in his community. Devin's interests are diverse but fascinating. He is a skilled game designer and has created his own board game and game pieces for other games. He is also passionate about military history and has been actively seeking to learn more by visiting museums and pursuing independent studies in art. Devin's well-rounded personality, dedication, and compassion make him an exceptional individual, and we are fortunate to have him as a student at MCHS. He is an inspiration to many, and I'm confident that he will continue to make a positive impact on those around him. Thank you, Devin, for all that you've done. I feel like I'm okay. And usually I'm tall.
Congratulations, Devin. Thank you for your work. Are we ready for our middle school presentation?
We are, so we'll invite Principal Wilson back up to introduce your guest this evening.
Well, thank you again. So this evening, what you have before you in lots of pink are some of the members from our Student Council Association, so our SCA. And they are going to talk a little bit this evening about an annual event that is solely planned and executed by them as we raise funds for Martha Jefferson Breast Cancer Center. And it's a phenomenal event every year of giving back and also teaching them leadership skills and how to build our school community. So without further ado, Mrs. Mann, who is one of the SCA sponsors, Ms. Kelsey Goldcar, shares that role with her, however, is out on maternity leave. So Ms. Mann kind of flew solo with this wonderful group, part of the group who's here tonight. So thank you. Come on up.
Yep, talk right fast. You can talk to them. Can I raise? Can we? I'm just. Okay. Does it? Just pull it down. Okay. We are the Student Council Association, and my name's Juliet Lamb, and I am the president. And we are going to talk about how our Pink Day Pep Rally and our partnership with Martha Jefferson Breast Cancer Center. Pink Day Prep. At the beginning of the 2023 school year, SCA started preparations for our biggest pep rally event at school. Brainstorming games to engage the crowd, shop for pink items, create a script to inform everyone about breast cancer and why we raise money during the rally, make lots and lots of ribbons.
During luncheons, our SCA members sell ribbons to raise money for our Martha Jefferson Breast Cancer Center. We purchased a huge pink teddy bear during this year as a prize for the student who purchased the most ribbons. The bear sat on the stage in the lunchroom every day. This year, we also sold tickets to Slime a Teacher. Students could put a ticket in a teacher's bucket, and the teacher with the most slime tickets would be Slime at the Pep Rally. All these great ideas really helped bump up our sales this year.
Our main goal is to create awareness about breast cancer and how we can support people in need. We also love to see our school go all out for an amazing cause. It's awesome to create a sense of community in our school. And of course, we love to have fun.
We have lots of fun during the prep rally. The JV show team performs for us. We include as many students as possible in all the fun games. And of course, all this is fun to announce our ribbon sales.
One in 8 women in the United States will develop breast cancer in their lifetime. In 2023, an estimate of 297,790 will be diagnosed with breast cancer in the U.S., making it the most common cancer in American women. There are more than 4 million breast cancer survivors in the United States, including women still being treated and those who have completed treatment. All cancer center donations go to a cancer fund that helps fund free wigs for patients for our screening program, education seminars for our patients, comfort items while going through their treatments, and the Cancer Resource Center.
We raised $1,170 for Pink Day.
And for our grade finale slime, we slimed Miss Shiflett, Mr. Patterson, and Miss Wilson.
We love showing our pink.
Good job, guys. Congratulations.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
All right, our next item is the instructional report.
Thank you again, guys. That was a lot of effort to plan a pep rally, yet along raise money while you're planning a pep rally. Great job.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
All right, so next is our instructional report, and here we go.
Okay, so this evening I have two different topics to talk about. The first is about a pretty incredible event that we have held twice now, and it's related to our English language learners in the division. So I have this first slide just letting you know that in our division we have 37 EL students, English language learners. In the breakdown there, level 1 are students who need the most English language instruction, and level 4 students who are close to exiting the program because they've acquired English language, and then the others kind of fall in the middle. The FLEP students, we have 11 of those who are formerly limited English proficient. In other words, they've exited the program, but we still continue to monitor their progress. And then in preschool, we have 4 potential EL students who will be coming up through our school system. And we actually added a few enrollees today. So that number is actually higher as of this afternoon by a couple. And so next slide. So in the EL community, we are encouraged to participate in FACE, which is Family and Community Engagement. And so Caitlin Racer, who is the coordinator of our EL services and our full-time EL teacher, has twice now and once this fall on October 19th coordinated an EL family picnic at Hoover Ridge for our students. And you can go to the next slide. One of the best things about this event is that she works with her EL class at the high school and her younger students as well to plan the entire event. We invite school officials and a lot of community nonprofit organizations to attend the event, and both times it has been very well attended. Next slide. So the high school students, to help prepare for the event, design the invitations for their families, and they distribute the invitations. They choose the games. They write out the directions for the games. They explain in class to each other how to play the game so they can explain it to the younger students at the picnic. They are given a budget, and they use first online shopping resources to choose items and make budget decisions, and then the class goes shopping and they buy the food for the event as well. Planning this is an authentic way for these high school students to learn English through speaking, listening, reading, and writing. It gets them excited about something real that they're doing, and something that they can also share with their families. Next slide. And then we don't leave the younger students out. Ms. Racer involves them. They also talk about the event. They vote on what games they would like to play, and then the older students do a lot of the work around that. They also get to vote on the food. They always want to do a piñata. That is the hit of the picnic. And they, use this also in learning and for their English acquisition and in the classroom. So the next slide has some pictures from our event. It was super well attended. And really to recap, this was the second one we've had. And students talk about it long afterward. According to Ms. Racer, one student told her that this was in her top 3 best days ever. They constantly ask, when is the next one? When can we do this again? The high school ELs in the sheltered course, working to design the invitations and involve their families. We provided the opportunity for students to stay after school until the event started at 5 so that no one had to miss. One thing we will do, we realized there were some transportation issues, so we're maybe having another one in the spring. We're going to work at trying to figure out a way to help support some of the other families that couldn't make it and getting back to the picnic. And then one other thing that we have been doing is a bilingual book program where students take home books each week that they can read with their families, because it's an opportunity to build those positive relationships through the program. And we want families basically to know how amazing it is to be multilingual, to be able to read with their students. We had applied for a grant, and that's what got us started last year. We piloted it with just a few students. We were able to get the books, totes, organization. You see the little shelving for it. And this year it's up and running, and most of the students are taking books home and reading with their families. So we're proud of the work that we're doing with our EL families, and I think it's gone a long way toward making that population feel more comfortable in school, getting to know each other, getting to know teachers, principals at the event. And Ms. Racer has been selected to present about her work on this at a state conference later this month. So kudos to her on her hard work in this area. And we just wanted to share a little bit of a positive event with you all on that front.
Can I ask a quick question?
Absolutely.
How do we define EL? What does that mean? What does that mean?
So any student who registers with us, they show up, they register, they fill out a form, basically. And if they select that anything is spoken at home other than English, there's a screener that we use, and then it rolls from there. It gives us a level, and we do some further testing with that.
And is it growing? I mean, is it the number growing? You had 37, I think, was the total.
Yeah.
Is that more than in last year's, you think?
So I pulled up, my computer went to sleep. You give me 1 second, I can tell you exactly what we've had. It's not going to be that easy. Give me 1 second. I pulled it up, it's right here. Yes, it is. Okay, so I pulled up my chart that I had done recently for another event. In 2013, so back a ways, 10 years, there were 4 EL students. By 2018, 15, and now we're up to 36 and a few more. Like I said, we registered a few today, so probably close to 40.
So that's a lot. Like I said, and that kind of makes us think about tutors and do we have enough for budgetary? So that's a lot. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Absolutely. And then I just wanted to share one other topic, the gifted program. You can go to the next slide. We have a 5-year gifted plan. And last year was the year that it was reviewed by the Department of Ed. A technical review was done of our plan. So I just want to share with you what the results of that were. There's a link to our plan for anyone who would like to take a look at it. It's there. We had 3 commendations, and we had 2 areas that need development, so I'll just share those with you quickly. The areas of commendation are on the next slide. Yep. Our part 2, our goals and objectives, we were commended for the great detail that we have in that section. In part 4, which is evidence of appropriate service options, that's what we offer our students. We were commended for the detail provided in that entire section. And then in personal and professional development, the comment was it's commendable that professional development is well thought out and is specific for teachers teaching gifted learners. So those were areas of strength. And then we had 2 areas that were selected that we need additional development. And that's on the next slide. Basically, they wanted more information on how we ensure that our identification process is designed to seek out economically disadvantaged students limited English proficient students, or students with disabilities. And so it's not necessarily that we aren't doing some things, it's just we didn't have it spelled out. So on the next slide, what I've so far added to the plan to address this is that we use as much as possible when we are looking at students to determine if they are gifted, if they belong, and need a gifted curriculum, is that we look at local norms as opposed to comparing our students with students across the country through national assessments. We compare them to our own students. How are they compared to Madison students, local students? So we do that as it is appropriate. We make sure that teachers are educated on how to recognize giftedness in students so that teachers know what to look for in all students. Because it doesn't always look like maybe you would think. It could be bored and getting in trouble. There's a lot of different ways that giftedness presents itself. And then just last year, we started doing something that's definitely best practice, and we hadn't been doing it. We're using a screener called the COGAT at the second grade level, and all students take that. It is an assessment that is known to not have language barriers. It's a lot of pictorial representations, and so it doesn't exclude students who might struggle with reading. And so it gives us a clearer idea, and students show up as, maybe having gifted traits in that test, and we're able to then look further into those students who kind of jump off from that assessment. So those are things we're doing. This certainly isn't all-inclusive, and we're open, the Gifted Advisory and myself, I'm open to other ideas, things that we can do, or other thoughts that anyone has, certainly. There have been some suggestions at the Gifted Advisory. There was a suggestion, maybe we look at some peer nominations, maybe students nominate their peers, things like that. So we'll continue to talk about other ways and other things we can add to the plan. And then the last one was basically just a technicality. There's for lack of a better word, there's a rule that once a parent signs giving permission that a student can be tested for the gifted program, you have 90 days to complete the whole process. We didn't have that in our plan, so guess what? We do now. So it is added, and that is, what we got as far as feedback, and I'd say that was pretty good, really, overall. And some room, some areas for thinking through some things, but we'll continue to do that and continue to improve our processes. Any questions?
Nice. You have any questions? Thank you.
I had one question. What percentage, just roughly, of a student population is in the gifted program, do you think?
So I think right now we have about 100 students who are coded as gifted students. And one thing to let you know, all students who are in Blue Ridge Governor School are coded as gifted. So that's a big part of the population.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you, Dr. Jones.
Sure.
All right. Our next agenda item is public comments. Deliver your public comments. You have 3 minutes.
drill down and understand, sometimes they go to the state fair, that's not a problem. And they're getting A's and B's, that's not a problem. We want to focus on the students who are both getting bad grades and are having behavior issues and are missing a lot of school. And I was really impressed by all when they did the school improvement plans, and Ms. Graham's too, just their knowledge and their intent to get down to that sort of detailed level, which I think one of the beauties of Madison County is that we can do that, and we do that, and we want to do that. In a bigger school system, it's more difficult, and they don't have the culture maybe to do it. But so anyway, I think it is alarming, but I also think our principals have the pulse on what you just talked about, really finding out the students that need that focused attention, and I think that's happening, and have a plan for that happening, which is really encouraging, I think. And I think that we'll see that, results of that. It may take a while, because I mean, the other thing to say, I think it is hard on families, and we spent 2 years telling parents, school's not that important because we closed schools, and so there's the mindset that we I think mistakenly promoted. I don't even mean we as in Madison, but nationally we made that mistake, and so we're still kind of trying to get out of that mindset of the pandemic thing. So anyway, I just wanted to commend the principals and the teachers and Mrs. Graham and everybody for that, focusing down on those students who need that help and not focusing on the big picture thing. Anyway, my 2 cents.
Thank you. Anybody else? All right. Our next agenda item is our budget update. Their business information.
Yes. We thought we'd give you a little synopsis of the budget that's up for approval tonight, our amended FY24 budget. So first I'll give the gentleman in the back time to pull that up for the budget update. Okay. And the next slide. Right, for the updates on the budget, thank you. The difference that you will see on the amended budget, if you've had time to look through it, is it now reflects the 2% salary increase from the General Assembly's final budget that was approved by the governor. So the 2% salary increase is to take effect on January 1st, 2024. So it'll be a mid-year salary increase for all of our employees. In the original budget that you all approved, we were holding on to, because remember how this budget season went, we were still waiting for a final budget. So our budget was holding on to that 1% bonus from the governor's original budget. So that's been removed and the 2% has been put in. So when you look at it, you'll notice the numbers didn't change too much. And that's because it was a year-long 1% budget and we're replacing it with a mid-year 2%, which is only really, half of 2 is 1. So that's why you're gonna not really see a difference in the amounts. So we met with the county, Ms. Collier, Mr. Wingate, and Mr. Jackson, and Mr. Jewett was present, and then our finance folks and myself and Mr. Weekly. And we talked about this budget. And there was the county had already set aside a contingency fund for us, because everyone was waiting on this budget to be finalized. So they set aside $144,192. So with that contingency, and then we have several positions not being filled. So taking a portion of that money, because now we're already halfway through the year. So even if some of our positions become filled, we'll be able to still fill them, but we already have those funds sitting there. So since that has happened, since time has lapsed, we'll be able to balance our budget for this year and move on with the 2% salary increase. And there was the discussion at that meeting, so everyone's aware that still our original request of $390 will still stand for what we need moving forward into our FY25 budget. We know we'll need those funds to make this budget work next year. So there we go. So that's what you're going to be voting on tonight, amending that budget. The only other thing that you'll see in the budget on your sheets is Ms. Kropp did put in a sheet on that all-in Virginia spending money that we talked about last month. So there's a sheet reflecting that money and how it's going to be spent for the tutors and for the supports, the training for the teachers, and for that behavior specialist next year. So there's a sheet in this budget for that, but nothing different than what we talked about last month. And then the timeline is the same. If you want to kind of pop through those slides, it's the same timeline we shared last month, except we did pop in for you all, like beginning there in December. We thought it might be helpful for you all to have what's happening in the state that's kind of following along as you all are working on the budget, kind of what's happening with the governor and the General Assembly for the budget. So you can go to the next slide. You see in December, governor introduces his proposed budget bill. And then the next slide, down at the bottom, I put it in italics for you, like General Assembly conducts regional public hearings. So that way you can just see what's happening along. And go ahead to the next slide. Again, more information about the General Assembly and then the April deadline. We get our budget as soon as our March meeting's over. If everything's working out, our goal was always to have our budget to the county as soon as possible. So our goal was March 12th. But then in April, it shows you, technically things that can happen, like the deadline for the state and stuff. And then I think there's one more slide for May, yeah. And it just has the deadlines for you, just so you can have a reference for what has to be happening. But there we go. Not much of a change. I mean, the money we got was so small and we needed the county for the contingency part, so that's all we're dealing with.
Anybody have any questions, board members?
I don't know if you guys have anything you want to add from the meeting we had with the
think it
county
went well.
representatives.
I think we had a great meeting and it went well. Good conversation and great transparency. I don't know what else to add.
Yeah, thanks to the board supervisors for being willing to meet with us, and I think it was a good meeting. All in Virginia money, is that flowing now? We're still waiting for it?
Our plan was approved, so yes, we'll start receiving the funds, and we've already, like you approved some tutors tonight,
3,
so
right.
that's going to start
So
rolling
we're
through.
going to approve more, though, hopefully. You've identified
Correct.
like
Correct.
9 or 10, I think.
So there'll be a few more that are approved, and then we also put in, our teachers don't know this yet, but we're going to be able to give them a $250 stipend, the teachers that are doing the new training and learning that, and their schedules were changed. So we're able to compensate them for a few hours of their time spent learning the new stuff. So that was part of the plan that got approved.
Thank you.
Good. Anybody have any questions? All right. So we have 2 items under business approval for this evening. The first one is to approve the amended fiscal year 24 budget as presented. I feel like this has gone on for
Right, it has forever.
we've been doing this for a year.
Ms. Cropper really feels that way.
So we need to approve it one more time as the amended fiscal year 24 budget. So anybody want to make that?
I'll make a motion to approve amended FY24 budget as presented.
Have a motion?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, no. And we have a fiscal year 24 budget.
Yay.
Woohoo!
Unless it changes again.
I feel like we need to have like a party. We should have had party hats or something.
But now we immediately have to start on FY.
I know,
25,
right?
so no time for that.
Oh, what a year. All right. Our next item is to approve a supplemental appropriation for $144,192 from contingency funds set aside in the Madison County Government fiscal year 24 budget. So do you want to add anything, Ms. Graham?
No, that's exactly the money I was talking about.
That's exactly what we just talked about. So we need to approve this appropriation so we can get that money. And the Board of Supervisors are, we talked about this and they are aware of it. We just need to go through the motion. So I'll open the floor for the motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the supplemental appropriation for $144,192 from the contingency fund set aside in the Madison County Government fiscal year 24 budget.
We have a motion. We need a second.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? No. Sorry.
I was just delayed.
It was aye. So we have a motion carries. Okay, reports from school board members and our superintendent, representative, and Ms. Graham. So, want to start on this side and go through? Sure. Is that okay?
I'd like to just mention the school visit that we did 2 weeks ago. Betty Jo Wyndham's idea of the little scavenger hunt. Majority of the time when we go through these school visits, we're just kind of walking the class, we stand back, look at what the kids are learning, watch how they're interacting with one another. I don't generally interact much. I'm just there to observe, and this was interacting, and everybody wanted to be part of the scavenger hunt too. It was pretty cool. I enjoyed it. It was fun. It was nice.
I'm sad I missed it.
You did miss it. It was fun.
Mr. Wingate?
Walkthrough was fun. Thanks for putting that together. I was particularly impressed by. Some of our buildings are older, but I was really impressed by the way that they've been cared for, and they're clean and bright. And I was impressed by that. I was appreciative of the leadership that is indispensable to that sort of thing. And the only other update. So after the budget thing, we had a good meeting with the Board of Supervisors, and I think it was productive and helpful, certainly for me, to understand what's going on. And the last report is on the Character Education Committee, just for the board's awareness. As we talked a little about last time, we are continuing to work on what that looks like, and we're trying to have everything in place for the start of next school year. And so we have a draft policy we've been working on that provides some guidelines for sort of things the board talked about and the guidance the board talked about. And we've got input from that committee, and I have a draft for each member tonight to look at, and then we'll have that for the public and for everybody to talk about next month, with the goal if people are ready for voting for that in January. So I'll have a copy for that. But the main idea that we kind of come upon is that we'll provide guidance and broad guidelines, and then allow the schools to do what they do best and put those things into place. And we've used the Virginia Code, but also the survey we did that said what the community is interested in and learning to develop that. And so I think it's a good product, and I think it meets what the board's intent is. And so I'm excited we'll get that started. And I think the buy-in from the schools is good, and the resources that Mrs. Alexander and her team and have worked out are real positive, and so it's a good thing. So we'll talk about it more next month, but I do have a copy of the draft just for take home to look at, and we'll have that presented, I think, next month. Any questions on that? That's all I have.
Thank you. Ms. Allen?
I'd also like to say that